Hello and welcome to the channel. In the last week, I have asked you to provide me some feedback about which videos you would like to see here on the channel going forward, and one of them was about which paper to use for Neocolor. So today we're gonna go and look at my 3 go-to papers for drawing with Neocolor, and then I will also do a follow-up video on some special purpose papers that are not my go-to papers, but I use every now and then to draw with Neocolor. If you're new to Neocolor are wax pastels by the Swiss brand Caran, and they come into 2 different variations. Neocolor I is not water soluble and Neocolor II is water soluble. In today's video, we are going to look at the papers that I use for drawing with Neocolor II as well in dry, without watercolor effect. Okay, so what I want to share with you today is how to choose a good paper to draw with Neocolor, which characteristics to look at. And for me, it took quite a while and quite some luck until I found a good paper that worked for me. So I hope that with today's video, if you haven't found yet a good paper, the process to finding a paper that suits you will be accelerated at least. And in case you use a totally different paper than what I'm gonna suggest, please leave a comment and we will discuss it in the comment section with me and with the community. So, first question that I want to answer is why this basic copy paper or print paper is not okay, or why can't we use it if we want to do like good artworks. There are two points. One is that this in general is not acid free, and the second one is that it's usually too lightweight, so it's very easy to fold this and basically spoil a bit the artwork. Therefore, we need different papers if we want to do good finished artworks. And here we go with the characteristics that I go after when I'm looking for a good paper to use. So it has to be acid free, and this you find it on the block of paper itself. Usually, if it's acid free, they say it. Acid free means that this paper is gonna age well, and it's gonna last a lot without starting to deteriorate. So this is a must if you want to do finish artworks that stand the test of time, and if you also want to sell them, because you want people who buy your artworks to be able to have them in a good state for a very long time. Then the second one is the weight, which is measured in grams per square meter. Usually heavier paper, heavyweight paper allows you to have more resistance for your artwork, so a more robust support. Then there is the surface. Different papers usually have different surfaces. What I go after for Neocolor II, for my go-to papers, are very smooth surfaces. And then we have formats. So usually paper comes in this classic A5, A4, A3, and maybe even larger blocks. But then some papers don't have maybe the A5 block, or some papers have extra formats that are interesting for you. So this is also something to consider. And then there is the price, obviously. So now a couple of names of brands that I usually buy, and maybe they're a bit influenced because I'm living close to Switzerland. I'm living in Switzerland, close to France, Italy, Germany. If you are abroad in the UK or in the US or in Asia or in Eastern Europe, maybe you have different brands. And please, if you have suggestions about which brands to try out, leave them in the comments. The brands that I usually buy are Fabriano, Canson, and Clairefontaine. And there are many, many other ones. These are just the ones that I have the most. And now we go to my top 3 picks for paper for drawing with Neocolor. And for each one of them, we'll look at the brand, the name, the weight, the price per A4 sheet in Swiss francs, and some extra characteristics or some extra remarks about it. And for each of the papers, I will just test it a little bit with this Scarlet color 070. I will draw a little bit on the paper. So at the place number 3, I have this paper. This is Canson Graduate Mixed Media black paper. It comes in blocks of 20. Here I have the A5, and the weight, it has a decent weight. I would say it's also quite heavy weight, 240 grams per square meter. And it's smooth on the surface. If you look at the back, it's made in France and it's acid-free. So it has this mark of being acid-free, very important. The paper itself, it's very smooth on both sides. And now we try it out. So here you see a bit the grain that comes up. It's very, very, very fine. And what I usually like to do for my drawings is having really solid color surfaces. And here you see it's quite easy to do that, to do like a solid square. What I also like is sometimes having a bit a looser trait or so, and it works very, very well. This is a nice choice because it's black. Sometimes I like drawing on black paper, so if you're looking for a good black paper for Neocolor, this is a very good one. Then at the second place we have Manga paper by Canson. This comes in a block of 30 sheets and it is 200 grams per square meter. It's really, really, really smooth, and you see this as well is acid free. And now we try out this paper. Look, very light grain. Doing a solid surface is extremely easy, and also doing a bit this kind of loose lines, also super nice. This is 200 grams per square meter, so you see it's still a bit more flexible. So it's, for me, this is more for easier drawings, more explorative drawings, rather than like a really finished artwork that I want to either sell or preserve or whatever. So this also was quite flexible. This is more flexible. And now we have a look at the final paper. So my top pick, also my go-to paper for drawing with Neocolor, is this paper by Fabriano. This is white paper, and it's available in like the standard formats A4 for sure, also A3, but it has also some special formats like this quadratic format that I really, really love. It's heavy weight, 300 grams per square meter. So we are seeing now that this is much less flexible than the other ones. In comparison, this is really almost some like cardboard, and it's very, very, very smooth. So I'm doing this gradient starting with high pressure and then always less, and you see the grain is very fine. doing a solid surface, extremely easy, loose trades, they also come up nice and continuous. So this is my best pick for the reason that it's very heavyweight, smooth, and it has also some extra formats. In terms of price, these three papers, how do they compare? So the Graduate Mixed Media Black, this one A4 sheet goes on Gestacker, a website that sells our materials here in Switzerland for like 50 cents more or less of Swiss franc per A4 sheet. Then the Canson Graduate manga paper goes for like 32 cents per A4 sheet, so it's a bit more economic. And then the white paper, the A4 sheet, costs almost 60 cents, so it's the most expensive of all of them, but I find it's really worth the money, and it's a bit more expensive, but it's still not super expensive. So these were my top picks for the papers, my go-to papers to use with Neocolor. Let me know if you agree, if you try any of them, or if you're already using some of them. And let me know if you have other alternatives or other suggestions about which paper to use for Neocolor in the dry state. Here we're talking about Neocolor dry. I hope this video was useful for you. Thank you so much for having watched until the end, and I see you soon in the next video.